Well, I started out as a swimmer actually. I swam pretty competitively for state and national levels, and I always did cross country at school, and I played soccer for a lot of years. So running sort of came naturally, and it's actually my swimming coach was a triathlete, and under the influence of her, I sort of started out in triathlon when I was about 13, and yeah, I haven't really looked back since. Sort of just found the love for the sport and pursued it. So I started out ITU probably when I was about 17, sort of just as I was coming to the end of school, and I was starting to take the sport a bit more seriously. And as soon as I finished school, I moved down to Wollongong and I started training under the New South Wales Institute of Sport there, and went overseas, chased the ITU sort of races around Europe for a couple of years, and I just found, after a couple of years, I felt like I was getting a bit burnt out from the ITU. It was quite clinical in how it operated, and I was just sort of losing the love for the sport. And after one of the European seasons, just in my results, I knew I just sort of wasn't performing. I wasn't enjoying it, so I came back home and I actually decided to take a bit of time off, and I had about a year off away from the sport, and just sort of through local guys, I got back into training and entered one local race, a non-drafting one, and just sort of went from there. And I've been lucky enough to have some reasonable success over the last sort of 24 months at the long course non-drafting stuff. Yeah, I think I felt a little bit like I wasn't really racing for myself. I was racing, to maintain funding or to get onto a certain team. And there was just a lot of pressure, and I felt like a lot of the guys in Australia were racing, each other for spots on teams and funding and things like that. And yeah, there was a lot of politics involved with it as well. And yeah, some of the stuff I just didn't agree on, and I sort of clashed with some of the coaches a little bit there, and yeah, that was another reason why I just sort of fell out of love with the sport. I think in the back of my mind, I was always going to come back to the sport. It was just, I didn't really know when or what I was going to do. And yeah, as I said, I just started, picking up a bit of training here and there. And yeah, I found my love for the long course stuff, and I've been really enjoying it for the past few years. And yeah, I really see myself sort of, having a future in this long course business. Yeah, it meant a lot actually. I felt for a long time there I was sort of knocking at the door, but I just hadn't had that big win yet. And Canberra for me was really special, to finally break through and get that 70.3 win after, getting a couple of podiums here and there. It was, really, really sort of, not to get it off my back, but yeah, just a bit of a pressure release, and to know that, I am sort of capable of mixing it up there with some of the best guys in the sport. At the moment, I'm pretty happy racing at home. Over the past few years, I've stayed home, where a lot of guys have gone over and gone over to North America and raced. But I think the competition in Australia is fantastic. You can race all year round now. I think that's about the longest break between races is about 5 or 6 weeks. So really, it's not that much of an off season, I suppose. And you can race all year round, and I think I wanted to really hone my skills and sort of really develop as an athlete before going over and racing the North American sort of scene. But I am actually looking at doing that this year. I'm looking at racing Worlds in Mont-Tremblant in September. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think it is hard getting any sort of sponsorship. I am lucky enough to have some amazing companies behind me at the moment, but I just think, with some results, some PR work, and developing myself as an athlete, I've been able to secure those companies and have them behind me. But I think, there is opportunity over in the States. But again, like I said before, I just want to really sort of hone my skills over here first before making sort of an assault over there. And but at the moment, I'm really happy with, the companies that I've got behind me.
I've got a long way to go.
Yeah, it's you know, guys like Yarn and Stixie and that, you know, they're sort of taking it to the next level with some of their run splits. I just got to keep chipping away. You know, I've improved my run over the past 12 months, and you know, I think I've still got a lot of improvement to go. But yeah, it is pretty scary, you know, when you're getting off the bike and those guys have just got that raw speed from all those years in ITU. You know, it is hard to compete with, but I think, you know, given a bit of time and keep chipping away with training and racing, I think I'll be up there. Yeah, definitely. You know, there's so much money over there, but I think it's going to attract so many people. I think it's going to be as deep, if not deeper, than Mont Tremblant. So we'll have to wait and see what the breakdown's going to be. But it is definitely something that I'm considering at, you know, at this time. I'll just have to see how the season pans out. Yeah, November's chockers. Yeah, there's heaps of racing. You know, there's a couple of challenge races. There's some 70.3s. I'm racing the Western Sydney 70.3. I'm an ambassador for that race, so I've locked that in for the end of November. And there's a couple of other races around that time as well, which I'll probably be keeping my eye on. Nepean as well is another race that's on at the end of October. And that's another sort of big local race, which has got a lot of prize money. So that's another race I'll be targeting. Not really. I do definitely is on the list, an Ironman, but I think, you know, I've still got a long way to go. Even in 70.3s, I've got a long way to go before I even sort of think about stepping up to Ironman. You know, I'm from Western Sydney, and Panthers Tri Club's a huge Ironman community, and you know, training with some of those guys, I'm getting a bit of pressure to step up. But yeah, I think it's a fair way off yet. As I say, I've got a lot of developing to do, and you know, an Ironman is a lot longer than a 70.3. I'm ready to stop after a 70.3. So. At the moment, I'm currently ranked 10th on the 70.3 ranking. So if I can hold that ranking, you know, somewhere around that would be really nice. I want to go and race Mont Tremblant and hopefully post a really good result there as well. You know, I think if I race my potential, you know, a top 10 at Mont Tremblant's not out of reach. So I just got to keep the head down and keep working hard.